Alright, this is an example of computing a sample standard deviation from a given frequency table. Alright, so we did something similar to this in today's class. So here is the data in question. The first column is called the class interval, and these are the given frequencies. Alright, the first thing we need to do is find the mean of this. Alright. Okay, in order to do that, we need to compute individual midpoint. Okay, so midpoint would be nothing more than the arithmetic average of the low and high of the each class interval. So here 1 plus 5, 6 divided by 2 would be 3. Next one would be 8. Okay, and as you can see, once you find the 2, you can kind of see the pattern. So your midpoint is going to just go up by 5 as your class interval goes up by 5. So 3, 8, 13, 18, 23, 28. Just purely coincidence that the frequency and the midpoint turned out to be the same. That's just purely coincidence. Okay, and let's continue our next column would have to be the frequency times the midpoint. Alright, so we do this 3 times 3, 9, 64, 221, 35 times 18, 630, 32 times 23, 736, and 5 times 18 is 140. Okay. Alright. Of course, we do need to have a couple of sum. Okay. First sum important one is the frequency, and here I chose a nice number, 100. Okay. The sum of this Fi times Mi is 1,800. Okay. So the mean would be 1800 divided by 100, so it would give us 18.0. Alright, so that is our mean. Okay. Then what we need to do is we do need to now go ahead and compute so-called individual deviation. Alright, and that deviation is going to be nothing more than just 3 individual midpoint, 3 minus 18, so that's going to give us negative 15. 8 minus 18, negative 10, 13 minus 18, negative 5, 18 minus 18 is 0, 23 minus 18 is 5, 18, 28, and minus 18 is 10. Okay, and this deviation column will not give us a 0. Okay, but we do need to now go ahead and multiply individual frequency by this deviation. Okay, and I'll put my calculator out here. Alright, so let's see. First one should be pretty easy. 3 times negative 15 is negative 45. Going down, 8 times negative 10, negative 80. Okay, 17 times 5, that should give me negative 5, 85. Just verify that. 17 times 5 negative. Okay, next one, the deviation is 0, so that should give me a 0. And 32 times 5 is 160, and the last one is 50. Okay, I guess I didn't really need a calculator. Numbers weren't all that messy, but what's important is that now when I sum these up, that column should give me a 0. Let me just verify this. Negative 45 minus 80 minus 85 plus 160 plus 50 gives me exactly 0. And that's good feeling when you're doing this in a quiz or exam. Okay, so far my work looks okay. Alright, and the 2 more columns. Alright, next column is I need to take my individual deviation and square it. Okay, Alright, and 15 square is 225. That should give me 100. And 25, 0 square is 0, 25, and 100. Again, numbers are coming out relatively clean. Okay, in the final column, what I need is now take my frequency, which is in this column, frequency column, multiply that by this square of the deviation that I just computed. Alright, so let's go. 3 times 225. That should give me 675. Okay, and 8 times 100 is 800. 17 times 25 gives me 425. Okay, next one is 0. Since one of the numbers is 0, 32 times 25 is giving me 800. And the last one, 5 times 100, 500. Okay, and I do need to sum this row up. So, I'm sorry, column up. So, let's see. 675 plus 800 plus 425 plus 800 plus 500. It's giving me 3,200. Also a relatively clean number. Okay, then I'm almost ready to finish this up. Let me start out with variance. Okay, sample variance is going to be that 3,200 divided by 1 less than the number of data point, which in this case would be 99. So go 3,200, take your calculator. Oops. Clear. 3,200 divided by 99 should give me some ugly decimal. 32.3232 repeating. I'll round this off a little bit later. Okay. Sample, I'm sorry, this should be sample variance. Okay. Sample standard deviation. Okay, it's just going to be square root of this 32.3232 repeating. Okay, now I already have this exact value of the variance. So all I'm going to do is just square root this by just pressing the square root button. Okay, so press square root, and it's giving me 5.685. So that is 5.68535, and on and on. Okay, let's do the rounding off. Okay. Here I'm assuming that my original data is a whole number. That's why I included 1 extra decimal for the mean. So variance should have 1 more decimal than the mean, so that should be about 32.32 if I round this off. Here's standard deviation, which is more important number than the variance. I do need to round off to here. Next number is 5, but I got more digits, so this will be rounded up to about 5.69. Okay, it's important that you don't keep this 5.68. Okay, that will give us some erroneous result for our later problems. Okay, so let's see. Let me just zoom out so if you can see the entire shot. Can you see the entire shot? No, I better zoom out. Oops, I think that is the most. Really, I thought I could fit everything. Okay, you see the column headings there. Okay, and you can actually pause the video a little bit just so that you can see if you need all the details. Alright, so the answer is 5.69. Alright, that's it.